Hello and welcome to DataROC, the City of Rochester, New York's open data portal. This video will explain how to find and use datasets in the form of tabular spreadsheets hosted on the open data portal. If you're looking for an overview on how to navigate the page, please check out our other videos in the how-to series that cover basic navigation. Let's get started. Start at the DataROC homepage, which you can find on any device by going to data.cityofrochester.gov. You should see the content types in the main header menu. If you click on content types, you'll be taken to a page briefly describing the three main categories of content on the Open Data Portal: datasets, apps and maps, and documents. This video will talk about datasets, what they are, how to find them, and how to interact with them on the portal. Datasets provide users with tables of information related to a specific program, process, or city asset. Every column in a table represents a field of interest, and each row corresponds to a record or observation. Dataset pages may also have a basic map if the data has geographic information. But note that for datasets, the data table itself is the featured content on these item pages. The maps may not be terribly interesting or feature-rich. There are different types of items that are grouped into the data category on the Open Data Portal: feature layers, raster data, and data tables. Feature layers provide groups of similar geographic features such as buildings, parcels, cities, or roads. These items contain spatial data encoded as points, lines, or shapes on a geographic canvas area, and they also have a corresponding data table with the information contained in these layers. Raster layers on our Open Data Portal will provide digital aerial photography and store them as rasters, or a pixelated matrix of rows and columns of data to store the image in a simple data structure. Finally, tables are exactly what they sound like: columns and rows of textual data without direct spatial elements. Let's look at two specific data sets to learn more about them. Find the City-Owned Real Estate Parcels Live dataset and click on the item. As this particular dataset contains a geographic field, you'll first see a page with a map of the city. We won't get too far into mapping in this video, as there are more videos that cover maps in more detail, but here's some basic features of the dataset's map. You can zoom in and out using the buttons on the bottom right of the map. To shift the map left, right, up, or down, click on your map and pull your mouse. If you want to search for a specific location, you can do that using the Maps search bar, which is also located on the lower left-hand side of the screen. For example, we can search for 30 Church Street to see relevant data about City Hall, or we can ask the map to search for current location. If you click on the blue shape where City Hall is, a pop-up will open within the map, and it will show the fields and values related to that site. Beside the map, you will find information relevant to the map and the dataset you're looking at. For example, here I can see when the specific dataset was published and updated, and that it is public. If I select the View Full Details button, I'm brought to a separate page that provides a written description of the dataset. Usually, this will have a more arrow to expand the section to read the full narrative. If there's a code book for the dataset that provides a data dictionary explaining the fields and their values, it'll be linked in this section. Below this is the attribute section, which lists all the fields in the dataset. Some of the fields will have bar chart symbols on them. If you click those buttons, you'll see a histogram that shows how frequently each field value appears in the dataset. Below the Attributes button, there may be a section that identifies datasets and other content that relates to the item you're currently on. Note that most, but not all of the items have related data linked to them in this way. From here, you can click on the View Data Table on the right-hand side of the page under the Details section to access the data table. If you're on the page with the map, you can access the data table by clicking the View Table button on the top right of your screen. You may need to scroll to the right to see all of the data fields. You can sort by a specific field by clicking on that column's header. For example, I can sort this data set by street name in alphabetical order, or I can sort by the date the city acquired the parcel. You can also filter by given field by clicking on the funnel symbol on the left side of your screen. Once you've clicked on the funnel, you can select which attributes you would like to filter by. For example, if we want to filter by street name, we'll select the street name on the Apply Filter screen. With this done, we can now type in the specific street to filter only the rows that contain parcels on that street. So let's find all of the properties on Troop Street. Note, you'll need to spell the search term as it appears in the data to execute this filter successfully. We can also filter by date. Let's do that next. If you'd like to download and use the data outside of the Open Data Portal, you can download either the full dataset or the filter dataset by clicking on Download and selecting your preferred option from the drop-down menu. You'll see the same options for the full dataset and the filtered dataset. The Spreadsheet option will save the file to your Downloads folder as a CSV text file, which you can open in Excel or another similar program. The KML option stands for Keyhole Markup Language and will save the data in a specific XML format used for geographic data for programs like Google Earth. The Shapefile option saves these files in ways that you would need to work with them in GIS programs. And then each data item will also have API resources, which are somewhat more technical and will be covered in detail in a future video. Briefly, let's look at a different data set, the City of Rochester Tax Parcel Snapshot for 1996. You'll notice that this data item is a simple data table without a map and just 7 fields. When you try to download this data, you'll only see the option for Spreadsheet. We have now covered all of the major elements of a data set on the Open Data Portal. The next video will cover what web maps and apps are and how to work with them in the portal. Thank you for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed using DataROC.